3, 2, 1, roll the footage. Welcome back, everybody, to the Strategy Sprints podcast. I'm your host, Simon Severino. And my guest today is the CEO of KickHouse, a modern kickboxing studio with 35 locations across the country right now. And she's adding 150 new franchise-owned KickHouse locations across the country before the end of this year. Welcome, everybody, Jessica Yarmey.
Thanks so much for having me, Simon.
So cool to have you here. And we will talk being solopreneur versus collaboration and why collaboration is so much more powerful. Let's start at the beginning. When did you start your business and how?
I launched KickHouse in July of 2020. So I created a brick and mortar business during the pandemic. So we definitely got off to an atypical start, but I'm super excited about the progress we've made so far. Like you said, we have 35 locations open across the country. And I know that as the world reopens, as people get the vaccine, there is a need for a return to a healthy lifestyle. There's a need for the accountability and the motivation that people get when they come to a fitness class.
Wait a second. The same month I was kicked out of my CrossFit gym, and the world started buying equipment for their home, like Pelotons and strange stuff. In that moment, you started your business. Tell us more. What was your decision-making process?
Well, Simon, I have all of the at-home workout equipment as well. I have all of the mobile apps on my phone as well. We all have access to YouTube workouts for free. And we all collectively put on the quarantine 15. There was a study that came out that said 61% of people had undesired weight gain or weight loss through the pandemic, through the shutdown. So we had all of the tools at home and we didn't do it. And so I think as we're coming out of this, there's that need to get back to a healthy lifestyle. And we weren't able to bring that to life on our own. So there's that need for coach-led experiences, for in-person fitness. So I'm super excited to be riding that wave. And as the world reopens, we're ready for it.
How much is it the room? How much is it the coach, the trainer? How much is it the community, the peers? What do you think are the most influential elements?
You've nailed all of it. You know, I think it's the community, it is the coach, it's having a commitment on your schedule. Like I committed to going to this class at this specific time, but again, we just lived through a case study for this. I would be at home, I would be doing an online workout, and I'd have my heart rate monitor on, and I would shut that workout off 15, 20 minutes in and flip over to work email or flip over to Instagram. And my total calorie burn was 200 calories. You go into a studio, you've made that commitment, you are working with a coach who pushes you past where you would push yourself, and your calorie burn is 500, 600 calories. That's where the results are going to come from, is that pushing to the next level. We're not going to get those results with 200 calorie burn kind of workouts.
Absolutely. And quite soon you have reached the point where you say, okay, this was growth, now comes scaling. I have one gym, it's full, we're a great community, we're doing good stuff. Now let's scale this. Let's not be our own bottleneck. Let's create a model where other people can chip in and start the same thing in their city, similar to where I was a couple years ago. And I said, hey, same thing. Let's scale this. So I fired myself from fulfillment because I'm a service business. And I said, I don't coach anymore. I will certify coaches. And then they can open up their business under our brand and using our tools in their country, in their city, and so we can serve more people. Tell us about that. What was first?
We are doing everything at the same time. We're launching at the same time as we're scaling. We're less than a year old, so we're 35 locations in, less than a year. And our next milestone is to get to 50 locations. So I know that scale is going to come from franchise growth, from, like you said, finding good partners, bringing good owners into our system, and empowering them to run their own studios in their communities. So that's how we're going to get to that 50 milestone, that 150 milestone. That's where fast growth comes from, is by partnering either with franchise owners or with good other partners in the mix that just help add fuel to the fire. It really helps the growth accelerate versus, growing one by one on studios on your own.
What criteria did you have in your mind when selecting partners? What should they bring, and what can you teach them versus what do they need to have already?
Yeah, we have a number of different franchise owner backgrounds in our family already. I have a doctor who is a franchise owner. I have a CTO who is a franchise owner. I have a policewoman who's a franchise owner. I have an instructor who is a franchise owner, who's really in her business, teaching, coaching on a regular basis, and she also owns the business. So you can really bring a lot of different backgrounds into a franchise model. And the idea is, as long as you're bringing passion and an entrepreneurial spirit, the desire to run your own business, the desire to be that small business owner, as long as you have that drive, you can be successful as a franchise owner. The franchise model is really meant to be take it off the shelf, put it in any market across the country, and we know how it will perform. So we can train and fill in the gaps of an owner's skill set. If it's, the CTO as an example, they're going to be up to speed on our website and app in no time, but they might have other operational things that we need to fill in more detail. So really the model's meant to give franchise owners A to Z everything they need to open and operate a successful studio.
And so if they open it on their own without using your brand, they need to reinvent the content, the training plan, how to set it up, how to structure all the processes, versus if they partner up with you, they get blueprints and even a software.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think entrepreneurs, we know there's so many different facets to starting a business from the ground up, from the website and the programming that you just mentioned, but to like building a team, to running the operation. There's so many things. And so being a part of a franchise, you have a starting place for all of those things. And there's less of an entrepreneurial lift. So the franchise model, it's a great place for people to start if they have that entrepreneurial drive, but they're intimidated by bringing all of the different pieces of a new business or of a startup. If they're intimidated by bringing that to life, great, like dive into a franchise, because it's already a foundation is built. There's a model that's built, and you're simply running a play and bringing your small business to life.
If they have a question like, I never did hiring, what's the hiring process? Do they get you? Do they get access to your manual, or do they get you on the phone and you help them? How does that work?
My franchise owners all have my cell phone, which is a good thing and a bad thing. But we also have a team of 13 individuals who have been in a franchise model before, who have been in the fitness space before. So there's subject matter experts across every facet of the business. So if there's questions, to use your example on hiring, great. There's someone on my team that is on the receiving end of that phone call who can answer those questions. And to your point, there's already an existing model. So there's existing job descriptions. There's existing playbooks for things like hiring. where you can, run that play. And again, it's a solid foundation to build from, and you're not building from scratch. You're not building on your own.
Because it's similar to us. So every Monday I have all certified strategy sprints coaches in one room, and we go through all current clients and their numbers, and are they doing well? Is there something we need to build? Do you have everything? And then sometimes things pop up like, hey, I need more sales material for this country in that language, and then I go and build it. I put it on the platform, and then it's distributed. And I guess it's similar. Some will be very experienced in some parts, and other parts they need access to your platform to get that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whenever I expand globally, Simon, I'm going to call you, because we're going to follow a similar kind of play where, as you grow, as you scale, you do need those touch bases to make sure you're growing with consistency, and then making sure you're identifying like where is the help needed. Not all studios are going to need help in the same way. So really like looking at your business at a broad scale, but then also looking at your business like one by one, studio by studio, and saying, okay, individually, what does this location need? And it's different location by location, just like you're saying, it might be different country by country, same kind of idea in KickHouse. It's just on a smaller scale, studio by studio, everyone has a different need. And it is up to my team to identify like, what is the coaching, what is the tool that's going to unlock progress, revenue for this location.
I'm super excited. Who do you pick for the strategy award after one word from our sponsors?
Hey, if you love what you are hearing, you will love our free masterclasses. Go grab them at strategysprints.com.
When everybody zigs, this person is zagging, but from your perspective, they're doing the right thing. Who do you pick?
I pick a neuroscientist. His name is Dr. David Rabin. He is a health tech entrepreneur, and he's working on a wearable. Wearables are big in the fitness space, but his wearable is essentially designed to help treat and prevent chronic stress. So through vibrations in the skin, his technology called the Apollo, it helps people realize it's okay, and it's okay to breathe and get out of fight or flight. And so I'm fascinated by what he's doing, because I think a lot of science is focused on treatment, and he's really, to use your word, zigging, and going into the prevention kind of space. And I'm in the exercise space. So I, of course, believe in prevention and just the benefits of living a healthy life and how that helps us avoid a lot of chronic issues, not just chronic stress, but chronic health conditions that come up that really can be prevented by living a healthier lifestyle. So I love what David's doing. And I would recommend anybody kind of look up his work if you're interested in chronic stress, fatigue, and how to prevent it.
And so this wearable would tell you, hey, wait a moment, you are now in zone 5 of your pulse. Do some breathing exercise, something like that?
Yeah, so it's tracking your heart rate. It's tracking like the heart rate variability, and it's identifying, and you can even self-select into moments where, hey, it's time to shut it down at night. And how many people, especially entrepreneurs, run 1,000,000 miles per hour through their day, and then they hit the evening and it's really hard to shut it down. And his device, the Apollo, it sends a signal via vibrations to the body, to the mind, that says it's okay to relax, it's okay to rest. And again, I think it's just fascinating to get to those kind of responses in a healthy way. I think there's a lot of self-medicating that goes on, alcohol at night, a glass of wine before bed. And there's just the fact that he's kind of going down a path that really looks at, prevention, and looks at bringing people or regulating up and down in a natural way is fascinating.
It's funny that you say that. I just started for fun a 75 days challenge, mental toughness challenge that somebody started, and I was like, okay, I'm in. And it says for 75 days you do 2 exercises per day, you drink enough water, and you don't drink alcohol at all, and you follow your diet, whatever your diet is. So my friends come in and say, 2 exercises every day, that's a lot, you don't recover. And I was like, that's the easy part. I miss the wine in the evening.
Absolutely. You and the rest of us, right? But those kind of things, it's important to recognize, like, why are we doing this? Why are we over drinking coffee in the morning, over drinking wine at night? And that's a cycle. And we can use things like breath. We can use things like meditation. We can use things like exercise to prevent, to regulate naturally versus artificially. So I'm fascinated with what Dr. Rabin's doing, and I'm fascinated by exercise and its role in that equation as well.
Absolutely. Beautiful. And what are 3 books that inspired you?
The only book that I've read multiple times is called Thinking Body, Dancing Mind by Jerry Lynch. I read it first when I was in high school as an athlete, and really read it from an athlete's perspective and the importance of mindset and attitude and mental training as an athlete. And I've come back to it throughout my career because it connects the athlete's mind to a business mind. And I think it's very impactful right now, like an entrepreneurial path. It's so much about mindset and resilience. And so I definitely recommend that book to anyone who's going through an entrepreneurial kind of path. Second book would be Never Split the Difference. And it's definitely, I think there's so much of business today is about negotiation and understanding how to use negotiation as a tool and be a value add to your business. I think it just opens your mind to a whole lot of different solutions in business that aren't just, again, splitting the difference, like going down the middle, going half and half. Third book would be The Growth Mindset by Carol Dweck. So I am a big believer in the need to grow and evolve as business leaders. I've got my MBA, and there's only so much that book learning gives you, but there is so many tools out there for us to use on a regular basis. Your podcast, one example, you can pick up a lot of different books. You can do master classes now. There's so many different ways that we can consistently stretch our knowledge and consistently improve our skill set as business owners. So I love Carol's approach to just framing how you think about growth. And growth doesn't stop when we graduate college. That's when it really begins. College is a foundation, and now, real world, like that's where you need to be able to grow through your challenges in the real world. So those would be my 3 book recommendations.
Beautiful. Thank you. And I'm still thinking about the over drinking coffee in the morning and the need for alcohol in the evening, because now that I am withdrawing it, I feel so much how I am addicted. And even if I am somebody that works only 13 hours per day, and I do my, well, for an entrepreneur, it's not that much. I do daily my Wim Hof breathing, and I run every day. But still, energy in the morning and in the evening, there is some battery issues there. How do you manage being an entrepreneur, having a life, and staying up in energy?
Every day, I'm still looking to improve my processes. I'm a workout in the morning kind of person. I do also drink coffee, but I find that the workout plus the coffee is enough energy to get through the day. I've actually just recently kind of started experimenting with CBD, and I've really never been a believer in a CBD kind of protocol, but I have high anxiety, especially in the afternoons as your inbox just starts to pile up. And I find that CBD is an interesting way to like reduce anxiety, but you still have clarity. So that's something I've been kind of experimenting with recently also. But I will also just intentionally get up in the middle of the day, walk 15 minutes at least, and just take that time away from my screen, away from my inbox. And then in the evenings, really ensuring that you have enough time to shut it down. I don't go screen free, but I step away from my laptop. You know, I still have my phone. I'm bad with phone time. But I think like having a process that allows you to shut down when it comes to the evening is super important.
What have you learned about franchising that other entrepreneurs listening here can also profit from?
I love the franchising model because it's just super powerful in terms of bringing that fuel to the fire in terms of scale, you know, in terms of speed of scaling. I think that's part of partnering and finding good partners is you can grow so fast on your own. You can grow much faster if you have other partners in the mix. And so franchising is just a great way to organically find really good partners to work with to bring your business to life so much faster than you would have been able to on your own. So within my 35 locations, I have 26 franchise partners, and they consistently see things in different ways and bring their ideas to the table, bring their solutions to the table. So I think there's just so much power in being able to collaborate with good partners, whether that's in a franchising kind of model or if that's in a different space. But just being able to have other opinions in the mix that maybe challenge the way you're thinking about things, and help you see solutions that you might not have seen on your own. So that's one of the reasons I love the franchising space is there's just organically a lot of collaboration that happens.
And what's the economical model, if you want to share that in terms of percentages and having skin in the game and having profits? How do you distribute all of that?
Yeah. So every franchise owner, they own their locations. So they own the revenue that's coming into that location. That revenue sits with the franchise owner. And then monthly, they contribute 6% of that revenue into the franchise organization. So that's what you'd call a franchise fee. So monthly, there's a 6% kick into as a royalty into the franchisor. But I think what you'd find most of the franchisees say is like that 6% is very worth it considering the platform that you're building from. You know, you have the playbooks, you have the support, and you have the network that you're a part of. So to have 35 locations across the country, you know, you're part of a national network of studios. You're part of a nationwide brand, hopefully soon part of a global brand. And there's real power in that. And that power unlocks even more as your count of locations grows. So I'm definitely looking forward to celebrating a 50 studio milestone and then a 100 studio milestone. You know, it adds fuel to the fire, or it adds momentum the more locations you open.
Beautiful. Where can people see the journey, stay in touch with you?
Yeah, they could stay in touch with KickHouse at our website is thekickhouse.com. We're on social media at KickHouse. And then I'm super active on LinkedIn. They can find me at Jessica Yarmey. I'm on Twitter and Instagram, also at Jessica Yarmey. So they can follow me there and hear about all of the latest happenings in KickHouse Nation.
Beautiful, KickHouse Nation. And who should be my next guest?
One of the people I follow on LinkedIn that I just love listening to all of his posts start to finish is Jake Thompson. He's the founder of Compete Every Day. And I just find his messages super motivational from a startup perspective. You kind of just want that person who's in your corner, and he just consistently has a positive cheerleader kind of spirit to him. So I think he'd be a great, positive, and energetic guest for your show.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And I am immediately after the show, I'm going to order the books that you mentioned and follow you on Instagram also. Beautiful. Thank you for
Sounds
sharing
good, Simon.
And your wisdom with us. And we hope you are at 50 and 150 very soon.
Sounds good. Thanks so much for having me.
Avoid trying to do thousands of things that doesn't work. We have 274 templates for your business success. Reach your ambitious goals with one-on-one sprint coach. We double your revenue in 90 days.